Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings will square off against the greatest tight end in football history in Cameron Brett. So Rob Gronkowski, he is the GOAT. Respect where it's due. And again, respect, love for John Mackey, Mike Ditka, Ozzie Newsome, Tony Gonzalez, Laquan Treadwell. But Rob Gronkowski is the greatest tight end of all time. Just is what it is, right? And the Vikings, likely without middle linebacker Eric Kendricks for the second game in a row. That one hurts. Brady and Gronk going to try and light up the middle of the field Sunday, just like in their old New England days, mainly because Tom Brady's arm could not throw for more than 7 yards. But and also, just like you saw against the Jaguars, as soon as they knew that 54 was out, you saw Glennon just targeting the middle of the field. That's why the tight ends for the Jags had a big day on Sunday. So stopping 87 is going to be a major key to stopping the Bucs passing game, ergo stopping the Bucs on Sunday. Frankly, it might be the most important key. So Gronk, again, is the greatest tight end of all time, but also at 31, that body's pretty banged up, man. And also remember, 2010, it was that back injury that caused him to fall to the second round. So all those hits are taken up, and also he's already retired once. He's already gone into pro wrestling once, 31 years old. Plus, he never was the fastest guy in the world, but also he's a little step slower as well, too. And he's worked his way into the Bucs passing game. I mean, mainly after he signed up, he was an inline blocker, so cool. But after O.J. Howard went down with injury, he's really stepped up his receiving game. 37 catches, 505 yards, 4 touchdowns this year. 62 targets, is second on the team to only Mike Evans, who might not play on Sunday, which is also be big. And also, he just had his first 100-yard game week 12 against the Chiefs in a little catch-up mode in that game. Also, he's averaged 6 targets a game for the Bucs over the last 8 games, so he's going to get the rock. He is. And the Vikings are about middle of the pack. They've given up 14th fewest fantasy points to tight ends this year, averaging 7 points a game. 56 catches, 673 yards, 4 touchdowns on 78 targets this season to tight ends. Vikings have allowed 100-plus yards this year twice. Remember week 2 and then debacle against the Colts. Mo Alley Cox putting up $111, as well as week 8 against the Packers when Tanyan and Sternberger combined for $125. Like we mentioned, Glennon and the Jaguars did sting the Vikings for 10 catches for 86 yards. So they're 75 tight ends, but without Kendricks patrolling the middle. So, man. So how do the Vikings go about mugging Gronk? Especially if Eric Kendricks does miss. So bonus, Gronk has been lining up wider in the slot. Only 74 of his 629 offensive snaps this year, 11.8%, which is the lowest of his career. So he's generally going to be in line. So you generally know where he's going to be. It's a little bit easier to game plan as opposed to when he was in New England, when he was a slot, he was out wide, he was all this, right? He was much more a move tight end. Especially when he's working with that other tight end who I forget his name. Anyway, but teams have had success shadowing 87 with long physical defensive backs, notably Seattle, Cam Chancellor. But the Vikings don't really have that option because you don't want to take Harris out of coverage. You don't want to take Harrison out of the box. Dantzler, although physical, doesn't necessarily have the weight. I mean, this would have been a perfect game if you had that third safety that you trust in a J-Ron, or an Andrew Sendejo, but yeah, it is what it is. So the Vikings will have to go with a village approach. I think it will take everyone. So if Todd Davis does take up the Eric Kendricks role, which he did on short notice against Jacksonville, we'll see what the game plan with the full week this time around. But again, Todd Davis, great against the run, not so great in coverage. But frankly, I think the Vikings should and could lean on Eric Wilson to at least always be shadowing his side of the ball, if not just manning up on him following 87 wherever he goes. I would actually be okay with that. Wilson does have the muscle to hang with 87, plus he's light years faster and quicker. Harrison and Harris picking up 87 vertically is going to be big in coverage as well, potentially playing more 2 deep safeties because the seam route is still Gronk's most dangerous route. Still his bread and butter, especially against cover 1 and cover 3. Just an absolute dissection of the deep safeties, and that's where Tom Brady and Gronk could just... It's gross. It is gross. And then also him getting off the line. So defensive ends, Fadi, Wadham, Holmes, Brailford, they have to chip 87 every time he comes off the line. They just have to get a piece of him. They got to make sure that he knows that they're there. Even if their own pass rush suffers just a little bit, the trade-off is pretty okay. So if Gronk ever gets a free release off this line, man, cut everyone. Fire everyone. Make 87 want to go back to the comfort of pro wrestling. Just make him want to get out of there. And also, the Bucs do run multiple tight end sets 33% of the time. Now, that may increase if Mike Evans does miss, as well as if Chris Godwin is limited with that finger. Child, we bit my finger. and it really hurts. And also, hey, by the way, Chris Godwin's like, man, I don't know if I could play, man. My finger really hurts. JPP's just looking at him like. But if the Bucs do run more multiple tight end sets, the Vikings may be more comfortable using their base 4-3 more often, which means Troy Dye. And again, what's the best part of Troy Dye's game? Coverage. So that could be another option. 45 on 87 as well as 50, 22, 41. Bingo. Boom. Yeah, I think that's going to be major. I think that potentially with Evans out or limited, I think that stopping 87 is going to be the absolute key. I mean, Brady, the chemistry, they go way back like chiroprac. So I think that off the bye, especially with Brady having a bad couple of games recently, 1-3 record, and he's just been garbage. He's just been garbage, especially if the Vikings can actually get just a little bit of heat, a little bit of stank on Brady. He'll be looking for 87. So I think shutting down Gronk is going to be the key for the Vikings to win the game on Sunday. So we'll see. Just make sure that he gets bodies. Make sure that he catches these hands because, bam, screw him. Your thoughts. Vikings stopping Gronk. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.